Memorize. I'm a two-time USA memory champion. I've memorized a lot of cool things. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Football Hall of Fame, the Academy Award winners, the Periodic Table of Elements. This right here is Abraham Lincoln. He was the 16th president, born February 12th, 1809 in Hodgenville, Hardin County, Kentucky. In your hand, on your cell phone, you hold all of the information known to the entirety of humanity. It's all here to learn and memorize. Here are 50 cool things that you could become a walking encyclopedia on and memorize. Memorize pi, 3.141592653589793233846. Keep going. Memorize it all the way to the end. Good luck with that. Memorize all the countries and capitals in the world. The United Nations lists 195 recognized countries. Maybe be a rebel and memorize one that's not recognized by the United Nations. Like Pridnestrovian Moldovan Republic and the capital, Tiraspol. You're such a rebel. Memorize all 50 states in alphabetical order. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut. I promise no more singing. Memorize the roulette wheel to give yourself a better edge in gambling. There are two versions of the roulette wheel. The American roulette wheel that has 38 slots. The European roulette wheel doesn't have the 00, so it only has 37 slots, and so you have better odds. Why don't you learn how to memorize a deck of cards? And maybe you can go to a memory tournament and set a record. Memorize all 206 bones in the human body. Poor guy here, broken mandible. Mandible, one of the 206 bones in the human body. Memorize the perpetual calendar. This means any date in history somebody could say, and with a math formula, you could tell them what day it falls on. Caleb, give me a date in history.
June 18th, 1815.
That was a Sunday. If you want to learn this memory math trick, click the link down below in the description. It comes out of a several hundred-year-old memory book. I'll give it to you for free. Learn another language, or just learn to say you're beautiful in 20 different languages. Tell a Russian woman she's beautiful. Ты очень красивая. If you've seen Russian women, what else do you need to know? Memorize the zodiac signs and their dates. I mean, if you believe in that kind of stuff. The Greek alphabet, invented over 2,500 years ago. It has 24 letters. Could come in handy if you ever get invited to a frat party or initiated to a sorority. This one I have done. Memorize the periodic table of elements. 118 elements created by Dmitry Mendeleev in 1869, a Russian scientist. Memorize your favorite quotes. Maybe by Teddy Roosevelt. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbled or where the doer of deeds could have done better. Memorize a list of the presidents of the United States. George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe. Did you know that there were two Adams? John Adams was the second and John Quincy Adams was the sixth. There were two Harrisons, Benjamin Harrison and William Henry Harrison. There were two Bushes and two Roosevelts. The 26th president, Theodore Roosevelt, and the 32nd president, FDR. Learn Morse code. You never know when you're going to get sucked into a time machine and memorize the Rubik's Cube algorithm to learn how to solve a Rubik's Cube very fast. Rubik's Cube was invented in 1974. I was invented in 1973. Man, I'm old. The NATO phonetic alphabet. Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Whiskey, Tango, Foxtrot. Always good to know the NATO alphabet. Memorize your credit card number. For example, my credit card number is 4928-7843-6291-7217, expires 0425. Caleb, cancel my credit card number. Memorize all the flags of all the countries. This one's Texas and this one's Chile. Oh wait, no. It's a list of inventors and inventions. People who have changed the world. In 1439, Johannes Gutenberg invented a movable type printing press, and it initiated nothing less than a revolution in printed technology. Memorize a list of the fastest animals in the world. The peregrine falcon can be said to fly up to 200 miles per hour. Brazilian free-tailed bats have been studied up to 100 miles per hour. Try catching them in a speed trap. Memorize a list of the largest animals to ever live. The blue whale is the largest animal to have ever lived, but it survives by eating tiny little creatures called krill, the size of shrimp. A blue whale will eat over 40 million krill a day, 8,000 pounds. Their tongues alone can weigh as much as an elephant, and their hearts as much as a car. Memorize the map of the world, being able to sketch the world from memory. Memorize all the currencies in the world. There are 180 different currencies. The Bank of Jamaica, the Bank of Mauritius, Thai bahts, Chinese yuan, Japan. $500 million Zimbabwe currency, or about a penny. Memorize the United States Constitution. It was written September 17th, 1787. I memorized all 4,543 words. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more and that no state without its consent shall be deprived of its equal suffrage in the Senate. Trust me, I just said it all. For time, we had to edit it. Memorize the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, or maybe go the extra mile and memorize all 27 amendments. Did you know the 6th Amendment guarantees you a right to a speedy trial? William Shakespeare, known as England's national poet, or the Bard of Avon, he wrote 154 sonnets and 38 plays. Memorize the names and the topics of all of them. Memorize a Shakespearean soliloquy. To be or not to be. That is the line. Question. Memorize the Gettysburg Address, published November 19th, 1863 in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, when Abraham Lincoln was addressing the dedication of a soldiers' national cemetery. 7 years ago, our forefathers brought forth on this continent. Memorize Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech, delivered in Washington, D.C., August 28th, 1963, almost 100 years to the day after Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. November 19th, 1863. Memorize a 2,000-year-old sermon, the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew Chapter 5. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. About 100 verses in the Sermon on the Mount. Memorize Roman numerals. MCMLXXIII. Memorize what that means and you'll know how old I am. That's the year I was born. Memorize the order of the planets. When I was in school, there was 9. You got it easy. Memorize a timeline of human history. Did you know the wheel was invented in 3500 BC? The tricky thing about the wheel was not conceiving that a cylinder could roll on its edge, but attaching it to a stable platform. And they did that with the wheel and axle. Memorize images for every 3-digit number. Why? Because it's easier to remember the picture aliens talking on the phone in the fireplace than it is to remember the number 520-158-849, which is the same thing. In this memory book published in 1846, Pliny Miles suggests you memorize a lot of things, like ancient battles. Did you know the Battle of Thermopylae took place in the year 480 BC? By the way, if you want a PDF copy of this book, click the link in the description. In this same book, Pliny Miles gives you a way to memorize the monarchs of England, plus the year they came into power and their house. Memorize a list of all the Academy Award winners, maybe Best Picture. 1973, the Best Picture was The Godfather, the year I was born. There's few sports in the world more popular than the Football World Cup. Memorize all the Football World Cup winners. Memorize a list of all the Baseball Hall of Fame members. Let Pete Rose in! Memorize all the Super Bowl winners, who they defeated. If you want to take it to the next level, remember the scores as well. Unfortunately, this list of winners does include the Philadelphia Eagles. How about you memorize a list of the 50 tallest mountains in the world and their height? Did you know Mount Everest is 20,029 feet? Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania is 19,341 feet. Memorize a list of groundbreaking scientific formulas that changed the world. E equals mc squared would be one of them. Energy equals mass times the constant speed of light squared. Memorize a list of all the Football Hall of Fame members. Yes, even the Pittsburgh Steelers. Memorize Ralph Waldo Emerson's poem on success. To laugh often and much. To win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children. Memorize details of ancient historic civilizations like the Egyptians, the Mayans, the Incas. I actually went to Machu Picchu in Peru. I think I saw a ghost there. No, I'm serious. I really think I saw a ghost there. Memorize famous paintings and art history. Be able to say, that's Starry Night, painted by Vincent van Gogh in 1889. The Last Supper, painted by Da Vinci in the late 15th century. The Persistence of Memory, Salvador Dali, 1931. American Gothic, Grant Wood, 1930. Memorize the conversion rate. Memorize how to convert pounds to kilograms, miles to kilometers, Fahrenheit to Celsius. Did you know 1 mile equals about 1.6 kilometers? Or if you're outside the United States, just use the metric system. Memorize the multiplication tables. In school, we all memorized up to about 10, but maybe you could memorize 10 to 20. For example, 11 times 17 or 14 times 14. Memorize math shortcuts. For example, squaring any number that ends in 5. All you have to do is take the number that is not 5, for example, 25. So you would take the 2, multiply it by one more than itself, 3, and you would get 6, and then add 25 at the end, 625. And finally, memorize a list of fractions and what percent they equal. 1/6 is 16.6%. 3/8 is 37.5%. Down in the description, I have a couple free books that I give away, 100-year-old memory books with a lot of ideas on things to memorize. If you enjoyed this video, I do appreciate the thumbs up and the likes. Comment down below. Tell me what you're going to memorize. Tell me the coolest things you've memorized. And of course, if you want help on how to memorize stuff, I have a memory course. It's called Black Belt Memory. And when you finish the course, you get a really cool certificate that looks like this. Click the link down below to get my Black Belt Memory course. Appreciate the likes, guys. I'll see you on the next video.